Good morning. My name is Nikhil Teja Ponnaganti. I am the acting project manager of this week, and my team members are Uttam Reddy Pilla, Mayank Sahu, Jain Rajput, Rajak Ali Qureshi, Omkar Jagtap, Karthik Solyapan, and Henry Ekwane. And we are doing this project under the guidance of Dr. Christopher H. Chang, who is an associate professor at the University of Houston and belongs to the Department of Industrial Engineering. And as you can see, we were in the week 5, and the project currently we are working on is this construction of a boat vessel. And in the previous weeks we have worked on bills of materials, work breakdown structure, linear responsibility chart, and the Gantt charts. And right now in this week what we are going to do is we are going to create the budget estimation based on this previous work breakdown structure and the Gantt charts that we have prepared. Everyone knows budget estimation is one of the important factor in developing and creating any project, because when you're going to create a project, the capital, the money that we are going to invest in is very much important, and we should know how much we are going to invest, so that we won't be facing any problems in the future regarding these financial problems. And as I discussed earlier in the previous weeks, we have worked on the work breakdown structure. Generally, a breakdown structure is a key deliverable project which organizes team into manageable sections. What it does is it divides the projects into each section, like a lot of sections, like a simplifying. It's kind of a simplifying the complex thing into simple things. And Gantt chart. What is the Gantt chart? Well, Gantt chart represents like how much time generally, like how much time are we allowing to each like individual tasks that we break down in the work breakdown structure, time taken. Okay. And right now what we're going to do is, based on this previous work breakdown structure and the Gantt chart, we are going to create a budget. We're going to estimate total budget that is required to complete this project, and at the same time we are going to calculate the total amount and the monthly budget that is required to complete this project. And now we are going to discuss about how we are going to do this, how we are preparing this budget project. So from what I have discussed earlier, from the WBS work breakdown structure and the Gantt chart, we have prepared the budget report, and in this budget report we have added all the costs that are involved. Like there will be some indirect costs, like we can't predict exactly the how much cost will be accumulating, so we will be also adding that uh, the cost which we can't imagine, like safety costs. First, what is the procedure is, first we are, based on the Gantt chart, we are making this Gantt monthly distribution chart, like explaining how many days are required for each month. Our project is from January to May, and so based on the Gantt chart, we are allotting like number of days from each month, like how much time will be requiring from each month. And then going to talk about the wage rates. The people who are going to work, we are going to pay them, and based on that capabilities, like what they do, we have assigned them into 4 different categories, like a skilled, semi-skilled, engineers, and project managers. And we have allotted like a wage rates to each of them separately in the way of like hourly, daily, and monthly. And also we have introduced the learning curve rate. Basically, when someone does a work continuously, they're gonna do it very fast when compared to the first time they did it. So we also have considered that factor for that factor, and we have calculated how many hours are required to do the works. And finally, we have prepared a budget report which summarized all costs involved in the construction of the boat. As you can see, this is the work breakdown structure that we have worked on the previous week. And here are the components present in the work breakdown structure. First is the freshwater system. This is one of the component in the construction of the port vessel, like one of the component in the port vessel. And second one is the vessel construction, like hull, deck, basement, cabin construction, like this. And the third component present in the work breakdown structure is electrical system. Some of the components in the electrical system are like battery banks, breaker panels, control panels, power inverter testing, marine generator, electrical outlet lugs, like that, etc. And also we have to do the wiring, pre and post installation testing, and also quality and safety standard. We have to also check the quality and safety standards. And the fourth component present in this boat vessel is the sand system. And some of the components in the Sandra system are like a marine head, macerator pump, waste accumulating tank, pipe fittings, valves, cutlets, and inlets, etc. And we also have to do the installation and testing of this fourth component. As you can see, the fifth component in this work breakdown structure is a navigation system. And some of the components in the navigation system are like navigation lights, steering system, gyro compass, radio system, navigation lights, chart plotter, and AIS transporter system, etc. Also, we have the work of installation and testing of those components in the navigation system. And the sixth component in this boat vessel construction is like anchoring system. Generally anchors are very important in the boat vessel, and some of the components in this anchoring system are like anchors, anchor rollers, chain cables, windlass, anchor lashing, chain stopper, drive unit, etc. And we also know that there are some like installation and testing procedures for this anchoring system also. The seventh and other component in this boat construction of the boat vessel is like miscellaneous items, like items which we can't put into any category, like plank and net, slide doors, microscopy, fish finder, plastic trash bags, magnifying glass, etc. And also their installation and testing. Now, as we can see, like the Gantt chart. Previously, we in the week we have worked on the Gantt chart, and from this Gantt chart we have created this Gantt chart monthly distribution. Like totally there are 10 components like project definition, orientation, configuration selection, hull construction, electrical system, freshwater system, sanitary system, navigation and network system, and propulsion system, and anchoring system. And what we are going to do in this Gantt chart monthly distribution is we are like all in the total time we have allotted for the project. From this time we are allotting the number of days to each task that we have defined here, like 14 days for project definition from January, and 3 days from project definition. And you can see that for the hull construction we have allotted 15 days, and for the electrical system we have allotted 20 days, like that. And for the propulsion system we have allotted 12 days, and for the anchoring system we have allotted 4 days, like this we can see from the next component. One of the major factor we are like we're gonna work on, we have worked on, and we are presenting here is the wages. Like wages, how much are we going to pay to the each different type of individuals that are working for this project. Basically, we have categorized them into four categories, that are skilled, semi-skilled, engineer, and project manager. And and we also allotted them hourly, daily, and yearly rates for all these four different category people. For the skilled, the hourly rate is 19, and for the semi-skilled, it's 14, and as for the engineer, it's 28, and the project manager, who is kind of a lead, the big guy for this project, he's being paid $35 per hour. And then after the wages we are going to come to the man hours, like total number of hours required by the people who are working for this project. And as you can see there, there are different system, lot of systems present in this boat vessel construction. And for example, we are going to discuss about this electrical system, just to amplify like how we are allotting the time. And in the electrical system there are like different components that requires work, like hourly. Like first one is acquiring all equipment needed, battery banks, breaker panels, like that. And for the each one here we can see that how many quantities and the time to install the each quantities. Like if there are two quantities and each one is requiring 6 hours in the breaker panels, we are allotting them 12 hours, like that. You can see like total number of, after allotting each subtask in the electrical system, and finally we will combine the total number of hours required in the system. And similarly we are going to do for the different all the other systems, and we are going to calculate total number of hours required for the entire project. As we can see, we are going to discuss about the learning curve. Learning curve is kind of one of the important factor while we are going to discuss about the project budgeting, like the, because there are several repetitive tasks going to be in this project. And the guys who worked for the first time, they're gonna take much time when compared to the guys who are going to do the task like third or fourth time, because they have learned something when you're doing the first time. So we are implementing this learning curve and this percentage in calculating the man hours required for the completion of a certain task. Finally, what we have done is we have given the budget and per each department. Totally, we have defined 10, 10 systems, like 10 different categories in the total for the total project. And here, what we are going to do is for the each task, for each category, we are giving this manpower, like how many skilled people are required and how many semi-skilled people are required, and how many number of days are there required for like total people. And we are calculating the budget for each one. And as you can see in that project definition, 17 days are required and no budget is involved. Whereas for the sanitation, you can see from the skilled people no one is required, and from the semi-skilled one person is required and is going to work for 16 days, and is going to be charging $3,594.93. And for the anchoring system, as you can see, like no skilled people are required, and you can see there are two skilled people and it's going to charge like that, as I mentioned in the rates. In the previous slide, we have discussed about this, budget per department. Now we are going to discuss the budget per, per monthly budget. As we can see, for all the 10, these 10, the number represents the 10 categories that we have mentioned earlier. And here we have 5 months: January, February, March, April, and May. And based on the each category, we are calculating how much money is required from the each month. And you see, for the like for example, in the January, for the task for the category 2, we are gonna charge like 5,000. For the category 3, we are being charged for 40,000. So for the total month it's going to be 45,000. Similarly, we are going to calculate each month the cost, and finally we're going to add it in the overall budget. So from this we can calculate the monthly budget as well as the total budget required for the construction of the boat vessel, which is now, in the previous slides, we have presented the budget per the department and the budget, for the monthly. Now we are going to give the overall idea of how much it has been actually being costed for the construction of a boat vessel. First one, there are several costs. One of the cost is the material cost, which has been around $1,48,060.07. And for the firing and hiring, it's going to be charging around $9,000. For the personal cost, it's been around $29,741.35. And for the fringe benefits, like it's around 5%, and it's going to be around $9,870.67. Indirect cost, sometimes we can't know, like we can't anticipate some of the costs. There will be fluctuations in the cost that we're going to buy. So for that we have calculated indirect cost, which amount to 25%, and it's going to be around $65,804.48. So by combining all these costs, we're going to get the total estimated cost for the construction of the boat vessel, which is a project, and its amount to be around $2,63,217.90. This entire budget has been calculated based on the Gantt chart data, as I told earlier. As you can see, we have, the task that which we have been, working on has been concluded. As we have discussed in the previous slide, the total budget required for the construction of this project. And now we are going to conclude, like, based on this previous W work breakdown structure and Gantt chart, which we have discussed earlier, we have prepared the budget chart. This budget chart, consists of total budget and monthly budgets. Like we have also calculated monthly requirements, and also we have calculated uh, budget per department. And also we have included all the other costs like fringe costs, indirect costs, material costs, all the total costs we have been calculated, and we have presented the budget. This is our presentation regarding our assignment that we have worked for this week, which is the budget estimation of the total costs required for the construction of the vessel. Thank you. And finally, that's all. This is the final slide, which is thank you. Finally, thank you for listening to our presentation of what we have worked on this uh, budget estimation for this boat vessel. Thank you very much.